This is an intimate conversation series with millionaires and billionaires who moved the world, not just about how they built their wealth, but about who they had to become because of it. Because money amplifies what you've always been. This is the Inner Circle. Let's begin. Welcome to the Inner Circle podcast. Today I have a guest named Manny Teran. He made his millions in engineering services, manufacturing, and also coaching for executives. Manny, thank you for coming.
My pleasure being here.
Yeah, could you tell us, before we dive into the mindset of creating wealth, can you tell us a little bit about your background and how you made your first millions?
Sure. So I came from a very small town, Douglas, Arizona, went to the University of Arizona, and really thought I wanted to go into the engineering domain.
Yeah.
I was the first in my family to go to college.
Oh, wow.
And being kind of a tinker as a kid, it was a natural fit for me to go to engineering. Went through engineering school. It wasn't easy for me. I wasn't a very good student. And then went out into the engineering world for about a year and a half. And then I got introduced into sales.
Okay.
And I initially pushed away from it, thinking, I'm an engineer. What do I need to know about sales?
Right.
But the more I understood what it truly was, the more I loved it. And that for me was the sort of the start of my career.
So did you do, what type of sales? Did you do like door-to-door, cold calling? Or?
No, it was technical sales.
Oh, okay.
So I worked for a company, National Instruments. We made hardware and software for electronic testing and other forms of testing. And it was sort of ahead of its time in that software was the instrument. Traditionally, if you're thinking about like an electronic test bench, you're thinking about knobs and buttons and all this, and you're making these measurements. And so this company, National Instruments, their real claim to fame is they're one of the first to bring in these instruments and tie them into software. So the software made the measurements. The software recorded the measurements to the hard drive. The software was the sort of the orchestra that brought the band together.
Oh, wow. So was entrepreneurship kind of always been in your horizon growing up, or is it something that you developed over time?
It was always been there. I have so many stories to share about my early upbringing. My family are a family of entrepreneurs. My grandmother, who is thankfully still with us, my mother, very many other people in my family are entrepreneurs, small business people. And me, myself, I remember I was 11 years old. Me and my family and my grandparents went down to Hermosillo, Mexico.
Yeah.
I had just bought this really cool calculator watch.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
I remember those.
And I went down there, and I ended up actually talking to some kid, and he loved my watch.
Yeah.
And my grandfather said, sell it to him. And I thought, no, I really love it. And then he offered me something which was more than I paid for it. So I sold it to him, and then I realized, okay, I had this emotional attachment to this watch, but I almost doubled my money.
Yeah.
I like the idea of this. And so my mindset was sort of set at that point to look for opportunities to turn a profit.
Was it an opportunity to get a certain goal? Like, was there something that you really wanted to purchase or you really want?
Yeah, I would say it was less about a line in the sand or some goal, and it was more about the activity of sales and the activity of connecting people with something that would help them in their career, in their life in general.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I know that you're big on mindset too when it comes to entrepreneurship and being able to push through obstacles and failures. When did that develop? Did that develop during your college years during engineering, or as your upbringing, or even a story that was really impactful to you?
I believe in my life, there's always been breadcrumbs of small elements that have been there all along regarding mindset.
Yeah.
As a kid, I sort of suffered from a little bit of victim mentality because my father passed away when I was 1. And people around me were always like, "Oh, poor kid. His dad died when he was a baby. This and that." And I happened to look a lot like my father, so I pushed that away for a long time, thinking, "Well, I'm my own person." And then I realized it all kind of came together about six years ago,
Yeah.
which is kind of later in life, but it all really came together. Like it was always breadcrumbs, but it came together when I had this beautiful company that I took from zero. We grew very quickly. It was called Azterra, and had an amazing culture, did a lot of good for the market, and the market shifted,
Yeah.
and I had to put this company down. I had to basically close it down, which what I used to say is it came crumbling down, or all this, but I as a CEO, you've got to take ownership,
Right.
no matter what.
Right.
You basically give the credit away, and you take all the blame. That's part of those are the rules. And so the mindset really shifted for me, crystal clear, about 5-6 years ago when I took this company and I put it to bed. I turned the chapter, and I was going through a lot of personal stuff as well.
Yeah.
And everything hit at one time, and I for a very brief moment was not taking care of my body. I was like not sleeping well. I was probably drinking too much beer. I was like not in a good mindset.
Yeah.
And then I kind of like went inward.
Right.
I had a partner at the time that was very much inward looking, and she sort of showed me like, look, there's another path here. Spent some time looking inward, and that was you have to kind of sit in the filth for a
Right.
little while, in the swamp. And when I emerged just a different animal, like a phoenix. And I was like, from that point on, I was ready to go again.
That's beautiful. When you mentioned that you were sitting in the swamp, what was it? What did you do exactly? Like, did you go to a retreat? Did you take time off to be at a beach? Like, can you tell us a little bit more about that for those who are also in that scenario? Because I know a lot of entrepreneurship, it's a rocky path. It's not always the beautiful at all times. Yeah, so if you can dive into that.
I think it was a very multifaceted approach. There was elements of nature. Certainly being out in nature is wonderful, whether it's a beach, whether it's the mountains or the desert, whatever, just being close to nature.
Yeah.
We're made of sand, we're going to return to sand, right? The whole dust to dust thing is like so true.
Yeah.
So the more you can be at sort of in union with that, the better. But I also took a lot of very micro moments throughout the days when I'm driving to work, when I'm walking in my yard or in my neighborhood or whatever.
Yeah.
These small moments could be a minute, it could be 10 minutes, could be half an hour of just reflecting and being in the moment. I also really went into yoga, a lot of yoga and mindfulness, and also began really studying Stoicism. So I'm a Stoic. I think that if everybody thinks about it, we're all Stoics in the form of, look, you can't control pretty much anything.
Right.
You can control your mindset 100%. You can control your mouth 99%. And like if I kick you in your foot, you're going to say ouch. So that's the 1%.
Right.
And you can control a lot of what you do, but you can't control anything else. You can't control the market.
True.
I can't control you. I can control very few things. And so the faster you can get comfortable with that, the faster you can actually begin to live your life with joy and with massive momentum and success.
It gets rid of a lot of anxiety if you live that way, right? It's just, I guess, how we respond to a lot of things that comes towards us. Yeah.
Yeah, big time.
When you think of adjustments, whenever the first attainment of wealth is the feeling is different. So how do you adjust psychologically, kind of an identity shift in a way? Can you dive into what your experience was during that time?
You hit one of my favorite words, identity. Identity is something it's ever present, like we all have our own identity, but we don't really give a lot of focus to it as its own thing.
Right.
And when you're in college or when you're in the rat race, you're corporate, your identity is one thing. But I always felt, even in those moments, that my identity was entrepreneurship and success and wealth and all these beautiful things. Even though I was a university student struggling to graduate, or I was in a corporate domain with very corporate rigid rules, I felt like a fish out of water.
Yeah.
I felt like that wasn't my place. However, I did my best at that time to still succeed because I knew it was a path. I needed to play the rules. I needed to go to the minor leagues before I could play in the major leagues. And I remember when I had that company I mentioned as Terra, and we were rocking and rolling, and I was doing my taxes, and I was like, man, we made well over $1 million last year, and it was like our third year.
Yeah.
So we went from 80 grand to, it was like me as a consultant, but the first year we made 350, second year we made 780, and then the third year we made 1 point something. And so, it like grew quickly with no investment, bootstrap. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. There's a certain it didn't feel outrageous or uncomfortable because we were living through it. Yeah. People think like walking into wealth is that you just take this step into this door. No, you're on this trail for a long time.
So much in the back end. Yeah.
So much. Yeah.
That's really cool. How does so you've already had that identity. I think that I really emphasize on that because you had that identity early on while you're at corporate, and the actions that you took just took you closer, right, to who you really are. So for those who didn't have that identity, how do they program their identity to match their wealth when they get to that point?
Sure. I believe that there's a lot of inner work that needs to be done. And what I mean by that is really looking at what you want to create for yourself. That's one of the starting points. And it isn't always like you just sit down and you like map out what you want. That can happen. A lot of it happens in pieces. A lot of it happens on quiet moments and stillness. Right. And so just understanding the vision you want to create for yourself and like putting it to paper, which is really important. If you like vision boards, you can do vision boards. I have a vision board monitor in my garage.
Oh, yeah?
Every time I drive into my garage, I've got a series of basically like a slideshow with different things. It could be a massive ranch in Wyoming. It could be, I'm like an adventure kind of guy, so I like these big expedition vehicles called Unimogs. So I got a Unimog on there with like camels next to it. And so these are just little mementos that remind me of my vision. What's my mission here? Because we get lost. Because life comes in like a tsunami sometimes, and it knocks us over. Sometimes it's more delicate. Sometimes it's just like a wave on our feet. But either way, it can distract you. And so when you're tired, when you're like, what am I doing this for? Driving into my garage, seeing that, I'm like, okay, I remember now why I'm doing this.
You sound like a garage guy. Is it really nicely organized with your vision board?
I wish it was. I aspire to be that. My identity is I aspire to be that. But right now, so we moved into this house not even a year ago, pretty close to a year ago. And there's still a lot of organization. There's still a lot of things that are at play. But I live like on an acre and a quarter, so it's like this little mini ranch in the middle of town. So there's a lot of things we have planned, but for right now, it's sort of a work in progress, which is okay. Like, nothing wrong with that.
Everything is a work in progress. I think there's always level of improvements in our lives, right? To be better. Absolutely. So do you pair vision board with affirmations? You do daily affirmations too, and what is that?
I do a little bit. It's mainly actually gratitude.
Okay.
In the very morning when I first wake up, and this is a bit of a cheat, right? This is a hack, if you will. You have about 30 seconds, maybe a minute, when you're still in your twilight, when you're still halfway in dreamland, halfway in the real world, where you can sort of program your brain. And there's some science to this. I unfortunately can't quote the all the stuff, but it's there.
It's fine.
You can go down a rabbit hole online, I'm sure.
Google will know.
Yes. So if you spend this time, and for me, it's a lot about gratitude.
Yeah.
I'm thankful for my health. Health is so important. And, when you have all these blessings and you take your health for granted, it can change like this if your health goes bad, right? Then it's only one problem. And so I thankful for my health, thankful for my family, my friends, all the things around me, and thankful for the opportunity that I get to do these things.
Yeah.
It's I get to have these issues. Being a Stoic, one of the main principles is amor fati, love your fate. Whatever fate comes your way, could be difficult days, could be terrible days, love it, because we have this world to be able to enjoy, and I would much rather have had the opportunity to swing the bat and miss the ball than not swing at all.
True. When it comes to having a horrible day, like you said, love your fate. If it's just imagine one of the worst things that you had to deal with. What did you do to get yourself out of it?
My grandmother has a really amazing mindset, and she's one of my mentors or people that I really admire. And she basically says, and I live this as much as I can, when life gets crazy or there's problems that are happening, keep moving. Don't stop. What it means to say is, you can retreat in stillness, sit in the swamp for a bit, but don't stay there. Get your ass up, go rake, go sweep, go take a drive, go take a hike, do something. And with that, the real wisdom comes from, it's sort of a form of mindfulness, right? The pain that we suffer is primarily our own suffering that we create for ourselves.
Right.
You have a bad day, you create that bad day suffering in your brain.
It's like a pattern of stories in the back of our head, isn't it?
You go to some hospital and there's a person that is a week from being dead with cancer or something crazy, and they're thankful that they're there, right? They're not suffering, or they may be suffering, but they are looking at each day as a gift because they have been presented that finite day. The thing is, we all also have a finite day. We just don't know where that is. It could be an hour from now.
Yeah.
I could be driving and boom, it's gone, right? We don't know. And that's another element of the Stoic philosophy is memento mori. Remember you will die. And it's not meant to be like sad or whatever. It's just meant to be like, we're going to die, so let's live freely.
Life is short. Live it as it's your last. I go by that as well. I think we work way too hard to wait to be happy, right? It's absolutely a journey to be happy as we're working hard. So that's, I believe in that as well. I want to segue into more of the psychology of money and wealth in terms of your belief of who you had to be to obtain wealth, or your friends, like what changed when you attained wealth?
I think wealth, like anything else, is a mindset. We have a tendency to think about wealth as an accumulation, like you're just accumulating things, you're making big piles, which can be part of it.
Yeah.
But it's more of understanding how to harness the flow. So you can think about cash flow as like a river. You can be part of that. You can take from that, and then you can give back to that. Or you can have a lake that's stagnant, that's a pond. And so I think the mindset is understanding that you've got to really change the way you look at the world. And it sounds so nebulous, like, oh yeah, change your mindset. But what it really does is it gives you confidence in making small decisions. Small decisions is what gives you the ability to make big decisions with big dollars behind it. What I mean to say by that, okay, you're at a networking event. You see somebody who you think would be a good business partner.
Right.
The small decision is, I'm going to go talk to them right now. I'm going to be uncomfortable. I'm going to be awkward. And I'm going to go up there and I'm going to put my hand out and we're going to have a conversation. Small decision.
Right.
Small decision is rewind the clock if you have a hard time public speaking or you need to have a way to, like, in your own mind, be more confident when you walk up to that person. The small decision is reading that book, is taking the time to practice in front of a mirror. Those are all small decisions.
Right.
But they all come together like remember those books, like you'd make designs if you go with the numbers like 1, 2, 3.
Oh, yeah.
Basically, you're creating this image.
Connecting the dots, right?
Connecting the dots. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't think about that. Connecting the dots, right? You're making these small little movements, but with over time, you paint a picture of whatever you want it to be, right? You could be maybe a jet, maybe an island that's yours. Maybe wealth for you is just having the ability to make decisions how you want or live wherever you want.
Yeah.
Wealth is freedom. When you have wealth, you can buy your freedom. And when we have this trap of trading time for money.
Yeah.
And I still do it. I mean, I'm not immune to it, but I try not to. I try to make it so that I'm not trading my time for money. So there's things that are creating momentum around me.
Do you feel like wealth has made your life more complex or simpler?
Simpler.
In all aspects?
In a lot of aspects, there's a certain responsibility, I think, that comes with the mindset that when I start to feel like I'm slacking off, then now that I have a stronger mindset about it, I feel like, okay, I have a responsibility.
Yeah.
Success is my duty. I have employees that are depending on me. I have my family depending on me. And so I get stand up straighter and I move faster forward.
What would you say to someone who feels like money would solve all their problems?
It's not true.
What problems wouldn't it solve?
I think that money is very much an amplification tool. If you're an angry person, money will make you more angry. Yeah. If you're a generous person, it'll make you more generous, and all that. And so understanding that you've got to have your house in order, at least in the process, because you're never going to have it fully in order.
Yeah.
You've got to have your internal house sort of worked on, so when you get there, you can handle it.
What in your life do you feel like has changed the most before and after wealth?
100% my relationship with myself.
Okay. Do you feel like you love yourself more, or if you can expand on that?
Yes. So as a kid, I was very shy. I was kind of creative and kind of goofy and funny and all this, but I was like the class clown. But I didn't have a lot of confidence. It wasn't the right kind of confidence. It was, I would project these things in front of me because I wanted to sort of deflect. And I really came to myself looking at myself in the mirror, both the physical and the proverbial mirror. Who am I?
Yeah.
And recognizing that there's layers. I am not Manny Teran. That's just my name. So am I the person that's looking at saying that statement, but I'm hearing myself say that statement? So where am I? Who am I? And when you start to really look at these deep philosophical things, you recognize that you have this, and I'm sorry if I'm getting too deep.
No.
You have this relationship that you need to really develop. Like if you have a romantic partner, or even a family member or a good friendship, you want to work on that relationship. Like I want to make our friendship stronger, so I'm going to look out for you and what X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
But we very seldom look at what's going to make me happy. And sure, buying a new watch will make you happy, and buying whatever. Momentarily, but what is that longer, when you look yourself in the mirror, when you're like having a bad day, do you love yourself at that moment? And the answer should be yes. If it's no, then you have some work to do. Yeah. I have days, very rarely these days, but where I'm like, you know what, I don't really like myself right now. if you rewind 5 years ago or 10 years ago, that those were more often. Those were like happening on a weekly basis. Now it's like maybe once a year. I'm like, well, I got to work on these things, so I got to go, spend time on that.
So do you do that reassessment on a daily?
I wouldn't say daily. I do that on a sort of like a monthly basis.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's usually on a Sunday or a Saturday morning where there's a lot of stillness and quiet.
Yeah.
I wake up early, naturally, unfortunately.
The 5-hour club?
I cannot. Like, I literally, I'm like, okay, tomorrow I'm going to set my alarm clock for 7. Like this morning, I'm like, okay, I'll set my alarm for 7, ... 5:15, I'm up, and I'm like trying to like nuzzle back into bed. I'm like, I can get another hour. Nope, my brain is turned on at that point.
Oh, wow.
So fired up my laptop and started doing some work.
I wish I'm like that. It's harder for me in the morning.
It's okay. I mean, we're all wired differently.
Yeah, we are. As you're building wealth, I know there's a lot of problem solving. There's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of expectation as a CEO. How do you manage all of that, and how did you elevate yourself to meet those expectations?
It kind of goes back to that identity conversation, and really understanding that we have a path, we have a journey to embark upon. Like when I wake up in the morning after my gratitude, after that moment of the 1 minute of reprogramming, and I'm awake, I get ready for the day. If it's certain days, I go work out and I sort of work on my body to make sure that it's healthy, and then I go like a cavalier charging down the way. And I think that you've got to build that on a recurring basis. Like if you're a person that loves to have routine, I think routine is great. I also believe that changing your routine is also great. So there's a lot of science as well to really suggest that have you ever noticed that these days run really like, oh my God, it's already Thursday, right?
Right.
Everything runs so fast. When you were a kid, remember when you were like 9 or 10, the days seemed to be like so much longer. Like you were like summertime was like a whole day, and like, and the reason why it's really perception. It's called Chronos time. Versus, basically the idea is that as a kid everything's new. You're seeing things for the first time, or maybe like the 5th time. Yeah. Instead of the 50th.
Now we see everything all the time.
Exactly. So I would say, take a different path home, or if you normally eat at this time, change it up. Yeah. And I guarantee you, I've done this experiment on myself many times. If I change my routine slightly, then my day seems to go longer.
That's fascinating. Yeah. I've heard science behind that changing things up or changing the pattern of things may prevent dementia.
Yes.
Because we fall into this pattern of our subconscious keeps on going a certain pathway. So it just tricks your brain to thinking something new. But I never hear that aspect where it feels like your day is longer. Yeah. Because you're absolutely right. We go through our days and it feels so quick. Like the week passed by so fast. For mindset, do you feel like in order to have a wealthy mindset, you have to be hungry?
100%.
And maintaining that hunger, how would you advise that?
So I had I mentioned this earlier in our pre-meeting. I had a brilliant conversation with a very successful entrepreneur that made his entire wealth from nothing. His father died when he was 11. He was the eldest of 6. He grew up in Mexico with nothing. He grew up with a lot. And then when his father died, they lost everything. And that was the beginning of Humberto Lopez's empire. Now he's 80, and he really has built this entire empire based on the idea of that mindset, and really looking at what are the elements of hunger
Yeah.
that feed him. And he actually literally said that. I asked him that question point blank, like, and he's like, you've got to be hungry.
Right.
And he's 80 years old. He's got all the money he's ever going to want in the world, and he's still hungry. So it sort of built into who you are. And the magic thing about this, Laura, is that we can change ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Something to remember, it's not very easy, and we can't change very much. We can make small changes over time, unless they're the thing that can cause that to move faster is if there's something tragic that happens in your life.
Right.
Then you have the opportunity to make a big change, but otherwise it's small changes because we get in our own way.
Mm-hmm.
Comfort is what our body and our mind wants.
Right.
There's a reason why working out sucks. When you're doing
I
it.
never get that workout high people talk about.
There's a reason, because your body doesn't want to work hard. Your body
Yeah.
wants to be comfortable. There's a reason why like a greasy food is so good, because it's comfort and it's high calories, and it means you don't have to go hunt all day long to get a squirrel this big, right?
Yeah.
You're right there. And so our bodies are and our minds are really trying to be more comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're hungry, even though you've got everything you need, that's when it takes a lot of work. That's when it takes a big shift.
Yeah. And that's hard, you know. I feel like when we start off with things, even starting a business or initially starting, and with youth, we're very hungry. And over time, as we get more, we become more comfortable. So reminding ourselves to be hungry again, I think that's really important. And I mean, your friend, to be hungry at 80 years old, I think that's very, very admirable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. And I think also our palates change over time.
Right.
Like, remember as a kid, cotton candy was amazing.
Yeah.
Cotton candy was like, oh my God, this is like the best thing ever. And right now I have no desire for cotton candy. You know what I mean? I have other tastes. I mean, give me some sushi. I had dinner last night at Uchi. Like, give me something fantastic and I'm down, but I'm not really into cotton candy anymore.
No, it's funny, huh? And even nice things. Like, do you remember, what's the first nice thing that you bought for yourself that's memorable?
When I graduated, actually right before I graduated the university, I bought the truck of my dreams and I bought a house in 1 week.
Wow.
And it was a bit off more than I could chew.
Yeah.
In some ways, but it did teach me a lesson about, like, okay, if I'm going to get these things that I want for myself, I need to work for them. And I did, and I was fine, but at the moment I was like, I felt like I was running on cloud nine.
Yeah.
Being from a border town, being from a Mexican border town sort of heritage,
Yes.
having like a nice truck is like a big deal. You know, living here in Phoenix and Tucson, you know what I mean.
Yes.
If you drive down the freeway, you see these big lifted, beautiful pickup trucks,
Yeah.
and it's usually driven by some Hispanic dude, you know, who's like, that's his pride and joy. So that was a little bit of my, you know, one of the best things that I got early on that I can remember.
Yeah. Do you feel like as you purchase more things, is that joy lessen over time, or versus that initial memory?
Yeah, I would say when you buy things, you do get that little bit of a high. You know, there's retail therapy, as they say. But things are also a burden. Things accumulate. Things like, I buy things and then we have these giant purges where we go to like Goodwill and like give them away, you know?
Yeah.
So I think buying things is great. I'm more interested now in buying higher quality things that are going to last a lifetime versus little things here and there that may not hold the test of time.
Yeah.
And also for me, buying experiences is more important. I don't live an ostentatious lifestyle. I have in the past, you know, fancy cars and this and that. But I'm more important for me now. It's more important to give back. This is why I do my business coaching and work with high, you know, sort of high mentality, high mindset entrepreneurs, because I get to give back.
Right.
And then experiences. I love to travel. I'll be going to Argentina next month, and so for me, that's more important.
That's beautiful. And the reason I ask that is because there's some that first attained wealth, right? Their first million, and they go to a phase of purchasing a lot of things. And it's great to purchase things and make yourself happy. But what do you feel is the balance in purchasing assets versus purchasing liabilities? And what would be your advice to someone who's new to wealth?
We have a tendency to really, when we buy things, we're buying them not for ourselves. We're buying them for other people. When I bought my, Mercedes S600 V12, the thing was ridiculous. I mean, it was a great car, but if I really look back at why I got that car, it was really to show off. It was for other people. There was an element that it was for me too, but it was more important for me to be flashy because I'm like, look at me, I made it, right? That was a sort of the thing I had. And now it doesn't matter as much. It doesn't. I want to have quality products. I want to have things that last. I want to have things that are reliable. And having fancy things, fancy elements is important, but I don't need to have an ostentatious lifestyle anymore.
Yeah.
I've sort of graduated from that.
Then what is real wealth to you?
Real wealth, and this is going to sound very trite and all that, real wealth is freedom to make decisions and live the way you want to live. I think that having the ability to uncouple your time from making money, from responsibilities from other people, if you can uncouple those three things, that's real wealth. And being able to spend time with whoever you want, whenever you want, how you want it. That's wealth. Having $100 million in the bank, that could also be wealth. But what does that do? If you have $100 million in the bank, but you're working 12, 14-hour days, you've got high blood pressure, your relationship with your spouse is on the rocks, your kids don't talk to you at all, your family is strange to you, and you've got a palpitating heart. You can't sleep at night. Yeah. You're getting old. You look old at night. All these things. That's not wealth to me. That's an imbalance.
Yeah. There's a beautiful balance in things, right? You mentioned inner work. You mentioned self-development and while scaling your business. So how much time do you dedicate towards Stoicism, towards mindset, towards inner work versus working? What is that balance looks like to your life?
Yeah, I learned a lesson back about 15 years ago, maybe more, actually, maybe 20 years ago, from a very intrepid, very powerful, very put together, balanced CEO. I asked him. He had the big job. He was healthy, good-looking guy, beautiful wife, big house, all the check marks, right? And I asked him, hey, Mark, how did you do it? I mean, how do you balance it all?
Right.
And he looked at me, and he took a little bit of a pause for effect, but it worked. He took a pause, and he said, Manny, balance is BS. It's all about harmony. Harmony balance is hard. If I put a tightrope right here, it's going to be hard for us to walk on the tightrope, right? Unless you happen to be a circus person or whatever.
No, balance.
But harmony is different. Harmony means that these things can coexist one with the other. So if I'm on vacation with my family and I need to take a phone call or go take a meeting, they understand that and they give me the grace. Alternatively, if my kid is playing tennis and I'm going to go watch him play tennis during the middle of the day for some reason, I can leave, and my team knows at my company that I'm going to be gone.
Yeah.
So these things they play out better if you think about it less about balance and more about harmony. And we can use the analogy of pho because I'm hungry right now, and I love pho. You look at a bowl of pho, and you've got all of these elements in there. So first of all, the broth comes from a lot of work. It's simple.
Yes.
it looks just like broth, right? It's like clearish and whatever.
I actually cooked it last night.
Did you really?
Yeah, like 8 hours.
Yeah, there's all these hours of like work to make this simple thing be so complex. Then you add the pieces in there. Then you add the noodles. Then you add this. And so this is kind of like life in a way. Like you've got to work really hard to make it look simple and elegant and then to be able to sit there and enjoy it. I think a lot of people don't enjoy it. I've seen people work their butt off.
Yeah.
And just had a conversation with a friend of mine about a guy that he retired. He'd been working for 42 years. He retired, and within a year of retirement, he died.
Oh, my goodness.
And, he didn't get to enjoy his retirement, quote unquote. I had a friend of mine, or not really a friend, somebody I knew, an acquaintance from one of my breakfast clubs, pass away unexpectedly in a plane crash 2 weeks ago. The guy was, he'd done so much. He was a big developer down in Tucson, and, he was coming back from the Final Four, and boom, like he passed away.
Oh my gosh.
And these things like they remind you, like we're still very much made of flesh and bones. Like we're gonna die, and let's enjoy it while we have.
Right. It really brings back of enjoying every single moment.
Exactly.
Wow. I want to close this off with, you're very big in Stoicism. What is the one advice that you would give yourself, your younger self, that you feel like would change or improve your trajectory, even more so than you have right now?
I would say embrace stillness. Embrace stillness. That would be huge for me. As a kid, I was constantly moving. I was constantly, and sometimes not in the right ways. I think if I would have taken more of a pause in life and in what I do, like I had a kind of a silver tongue. Like I'd get angry and I'd say things too quickly, or I'd act too quickly. I'd just run into these things rather than taking a pause to think about them. In one way, it's made me very successful and all these things, but in other ways, it's counted against me. And with a little bit of age, we get wisdom. There's no doubt. But if you work intentfully on getting wisdom, then you can get better wisdom, if that makes sense to you.
Right.
So right now, when I make a decision, I have a tendency to want to make it really fast. And I still do.
Because you're an A-type personality.
I still do.
Yes.
But then what I do now, this is what I've learned through time, is I take a little bit of time to let it settle before I unfurl it or make it happen.
Right.
So I take that Coke bottle and I shake it, and rather than just open it right away, I let it settle. And I how does it feel? So a lot of military generals that have been successful over time, Hannibal, others, really, like, they take the time, even Napoleon, which was perhaps the most brilliant strategist of all time. And if you read The Art of War, the Mongol Empire, all these military leaders take a day to make a decision. They make a decision, we're going to attack, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, but they don't actually do it until the next day. And I'm using military stuff only because it is literally life and death, and these things are so impactful, and they've been studied a lot as well. Right. So if I have to make a big decision, I'm like, I want to make it now. I want to make it now. I want to make that send that text or make that call on this big thing. Now I just wait. I wait till the next morning. I sleep on it, and then I would say 80% of the time I still go through with it.
Yeah. But
the other 20%, I'm like, you know what? That was too rash. I need to take some time and maybe change it up slightly so that it lands better to the other audience.
Was there an instance where you did that and it saved you from a horrible scenario or saved you a lot of money?
Yeah, big time. I mean, there's many occasions when taking that time
Yeah.
was all the difference in the world for me.
Thank you for sharing that.
Sure.
And thank you for being a guest here today.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.